What am I gonna main and what are gonna be my ults for Season 1 of Midnight? What's up guys, Petko here. This has been a very much requested video and a topic to discuss. I have chosen 3 ults this season, and as you guys have guessed it, everybody knows what I'm gonna main. So I'm gonna begin first with what is my choice of main and why exactly am I maining it, followed by the ults. Enjoy the video, and as always, like and subscribe. Alright, let's begin. First, I'm going to be maining Ellie Shaman for, I think, likely 12th season in a row. And the reason why that is because I absolutely love the aesthetics of Elemental Shaman. And more importantly, I enjoy the visuals. I think that's one of the things that have grabbed me in the first place when playing Ellie. The chain lightings, the overloading, etc. The waving different elements and fire and lighting, quite frankly, have won my heart for a while. And even though I don't like all the builds on enhance on Elemental in general, I still think that because of the whole package that you provide, the utility package is very much a requested champion every single season. If not meta, then at least to be a decent choice, which I believe to be the case this season as well. And obviously, I can't deny that it's currently quite strong, which is another small fraction of why I like Ellie at the current moment. However, do keep in mind that there are certain things that quite frustrate me on Elemental. Obviously, it's not all pink. It's not all like, you know, all wonderful flowers, whatever. But defensive part is like the biggest thing that I dislike about Elemental and in general Shaman. And that has been an area where it didn't really get to be discussed nor addressed properly. There was a recent tuning on behalf of defensives on Ellie in a general Shaman thing like 2 weeks ago, but that's just pretty much minor stuff compared to what I need. But anyway, Ellie my main for the 12th season in a row. Highly recommending if you guys want to check out a highly burst spec in the game. Alright, so now my main ult this season, after a long consideration and a month of testing, I gotta say it's going to be Unholy Decay. Unholy Decay has been a specialization that after the massive tuning, after the massive changes, what they've done from the War Within going to Midnight, it's a playstyle that I quite frankly enjoy playing. Now, whether you want to be playing Sandlin or Riders, it doesn't matter. Both hero talents, in my opinion, are quite good. Obviously, right now, Rider is stronger, and I just like the gameplay loop of the spec. Now, disregarding all balancing at the moment, obviously, it is one of the strongest melee. I think, genuinely speaking, when it comes down to Unholy, it's just that because you're the strongest melee, you have the highest chance to be invited in most of the pucks, and especially because you are super tanky, that's another reason why I like it so much, because I can just phase throw the abilities on the ground, talk to chat, take so many avoidable damage stuff, and I just still live, which is another, you know, massive W from me. And honestly, paid playstyle, it kind of reminds me of like if any of you have played Diablo 2, the old Necromancer build with like raising corpses, for example, and exploding corpses, which kind of reminds me of, you know, a little bit of Unholy, so maybe a little bit of nostalgic feeling from me, that's why I quite like it, but can't deny it, chat. It's pretty fun to play, especially if you know how to summon and play around your pets, which right now is the most important thing. Alright, so now my second choice of ults, because Unholy is gonna be my main choice. I've got 2 more choices in case Unholy becomes pretty shit. The first one is gonna be an obvious one here, Devourer DH. Even though Devourer DH is absolutely at times frustrating to play, I believe because it's a new specialization, Blizzard might have a favor with them, and the tuning will swing their way because at the end of the day, they've committed so much resources into Devourer, so it's highly unlikely that's gonna end up being bad. That has been a massive argument here that I'm going to bet on, and I'm willing to I hope it doesn't bite me on the ass, but I really think that Devourer will end up being great, even though in the current state, let's just imagine in the current state is like not insane, but it's not bad either. Blizzard will likely favor him over Havoc just because, you know, new spec, etc. Which, if you guys remember the past couple expansions, every single time had a new spec, they most definitely became ultra OP. Like Havoc and Legion, for example, was quite good at the beginning. Augmentation more recently, you know what I mean? I mean, Devastation was the only exception to the rule, but most of the time has been the case for the past couple of expansions, and I am willing to bet this time around might not be any different, especially after hyping Midnight so much for the past couple of months and having long beta testing. So on the frustrating part of Devourer, one of the things that I really dislike is like how your Void Ray / Collapsing Star plays out. So Void Ray, for example, if you really cancel Void Ray mid-cast, technically you can, but then you lose all of your damage, you lose souls, and you lose Eradicate, which pretty much You lose a lot of damage constantly. Like I'm not talking about like a fraction of the damage. I'm talking about like a massive amount of damage. So you're locked in Void Ray for like 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, maybe not 3 seconds, but let's say 1.5 2 seconds, depending on your haste levels. Which is frustrating because you do it every couple of seconds, maybe every like 7 seconds or so, sometimes even less. Collapsing Star, on the other hand, is even more frustrating because during your meta, which is your major cooldown, Collapsing Star is your finisher, kind of like an ultimate, okay? You cast it once you collect 30 souls, and if you are casting Collapsing Star, and you have to cancel that Collapsing Star, which takes time to build up, that goes on cooldown, so you can't use it. So you get like 5 seconds until you actually can use Collapsing Star, in which case sometimes your meta goes away, and then you can't even use it. So it becomes super frustrating at times to do it. And the last thing, the last argument about frustration is that you're upon death, you lose all of your stacks. So you gotta build up the meta from the beginning, which takes a while to get to 50 stacks. And by the time you do so, pack is already dead, you do no damage. So those are the 3 frustrating things, but obviously are pros and cons. That's what my opinion, the biggest ones. Sustaining damage is really good though. Every single pack, if you play it right, you get your major cooldowns and you do big damage. So that's about it. Also pretty mobile. Dash forward, dash forward, dash forward, dash backwards. I can't deny it. It's pretty mobile. Alright, and the last ult for this season is gonna be a super surprising one, and that's gonna be Balanced Druid. I know about chickens, and the reason why I'm gonna be ulting chicken is because I have a hunch that just because they are doing pretty poor on single target, and actually pretty decent in AoE, they will get buffed. And that's why I'm hoping the Guardian to get nerfed, the Restoration Druid to get nerfed, and if that will be the case, then the next best bet of Valdemar is gonna be Boomy. And that's why, I feel like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be gambling going Boomy, and in case they get buffed, but if it don't get buffed in the first couple weeks, I'm just gonna abandon the project, kind of a sideline in case it gets buffed, I'm just trying to prepare for everything because you never know in the future, especially how strong casters are. Balanced Druid historically has been synced very well with like mages, augmentation evokers, shadow priests, etc. So Shadow's not good right now. Don't worry about it. That's my theory here for Balanced Druid. Although I think it plays exactly the same. I don't think it plays exactly the same, except for the Eclipse, which is now its active button. For the most part, it's gonna be absolutely the same ticks. Okay. And I think one final thing I would like to say is if you are not pushing top tier content like, rank 1 titles or top 0.1% or the best keys in the world, you can absolutely play everything. Okay, don't look at any tier lists, don't look at any players, you can just play whatever you like. However, do keep in mind, if you like to climb higher on the key levels, unfortunately meta plays a significant role in you being invited. I'm not talking about like you being able to outperform other people on a spec that you main. You probably can, but they would not give you a chance. They would just not invite you unless you make the group yourself. So that's my take on it. You do whatever you like with it. So anyway, thank you for watching. Less than 30 hours away from the expansion. I hope you guys have fun, and I'll see you on stream tomorrow. Bye for now.